Despite scoring 3 times at Everton last weekend, AFC Bournemouth fell to yet another defeat. Eddie Howe's team went behind to what was the joint fastest goal of the season so far, as Romelu Lukaku put his side into the lead after a mere 30 seconds. That result was the Cherries' 3rd loss in their 5 Premier League games this calendar year. Only champions Leicester City have picked up fewer points since the 1st of January. In that period, Bournemouth have shipped 16 goals, more than any other side. The Cherries' dismal run extends back further than the new year, though. In their first 12 top-flight games this season, they let in just 16 goals. But in the 12 that followed, that figure almost doubled. They're scoring more regularly at the right end, however, but their priority must be to ensure that goals turn into points.
It's difficult because obviously the Premier League gets stronger all the time, and if you stand still for a minute, you seem to get gobbled up and left behind. So I feel Eddie Howe's got to keep his players focused on the job at hand, keep on trying to improve and keep on evolving as players and as a team, and if they can do that, they should be okay.
Bournemouth's on-field discipline has certainly been a positive. They've committed fewer fouls than any other team in the division this season, yet have been on the receiving end of the most. That figure could rise as they line up against Manchester City, who are not afraid of a challenge and have earned themselves the most red cards in the league so far this term. Hoping to help keep City quiet will be Harry Arter. The Irish international has won more tackles and completed more passes than any of his teammates this campaign. Arter scored his first goal of the season against Everton, but arguably should have had more, as no Cherries player has attempted more shots at goal so far this term.
For me, I'd like to see him intercept a lot more balls, maybe a little bit more protection for his back four instead of getting into the faces of the opposition midfield and making actual tackles. Sometimes that's necessary, especially when it's emergency defending situations, but in general I'd like him to do a bit more shielding and do a little bit more intercepting, but he's definitely very useful for the side. He's a leader, he's got plenty of energy, and he's got good quality on the ball as well when you've got possession.
One of the big decisions facing Pep Guardiola is whether to reintroduce Sergio Aguero to his side. The Argentine has only made cameo appearances in City's last 2 league outings, with Guardiola opting to give Gabriel Jesus the nod. Perhaps surprisingly, the Manchester outfit fare better without Aguero in the team this season, making selection a tricky issue. One man perhaps more likely of a spot in Guardiola's starting 11 will be Raheem Sterling. The England international has bagged 4 goals in his 2 top-flight appearances against the Cherries, including his first ever Premier League hat-trick in October 2015. The pacey forward will be expected to start on Monday.
I feel it's one of them where you play against a team, sometimes you just feel really comfortable playing against them, and it's probably a good chance he's going to do it again. I think Man City will have probably 70% of possession. The forward three look really lively at the moment, and I feel Raheem's hit a good form, and he's probably likely to get in the goal scoring sheet.
It's not just Sterling that Bournemouth need to be wary of. In their previous 3 Premier League meetings, the South Coast side has shipped 13 goals. The last team to concede 4 or more goals in 4 consecutive top-flight games against one opponent was Watford against Everton between 1984 and 1985. Those dominant displays when facing the Cherries mean Manchester City have scored more goals per game versus Howe's team on average than against any other side in the competition's history. But even with City's abundance of firepower, some suggest Eddie Howe and his men shouldn't necessarily be written off just yet.
We've got lots of options, Man City, but I just feel if your communication's right, your delaying tactics, you shape your formation, you can limit Man City to little chance, and if you can do that, you've got a great chance to keep them right.